That can't be right, though. Yeah, because Smith died from a blow to the head. Incidentally, who won the game? Isn't it obvious? The winner was the victim, Mr. Smith. Jesus. That's ridiculous. Because Mr. Wright can't lose. Oh my god, really? Justice? Maybe you can come up with a more legitimate objection. But he hadn't lost in 7 years. Take it from me, kid. It happens. I didn't lose a case my first 7 years as prosecutor. Either. Incidentally, I have some evidence here. Which is... okay. Oh. These are the poker chips as they lay at the very moment of the crime. The hand and chips on this side belong to the defendant, Mr. Wright. Those on the far side belong to the victim, Mr. Smith. Chips, you say? I mean yes. Imagine that poker is war. Your hand is your army, and the chips are the spoils. I know that. After all, in my youth I was known as the poker head of courtroom number 3. I think he means poker face. Looking at this picture, it does seem that most of the chips are on the victim's side of the table. We got a chip photo. Okay. Very well, the defense may cross-examine the witness. Sorry, I don't want to just read this. Used by the defendant to notify the police from the restaurant's first floor. The defendant and Mr. Smith at the Bosch Ball Club. Touch check button for details. Defendant and victim's chips. When the crime took place. Okay. Cross-examination time. That fateful night. I might as well press everything. You were dealing cards. Do you do this often? I am doing this. If customer wishes it, I serve anything. Borscht, cards, more borscht. It is my work. It's good to hear of a place that hasn't forgotten the meaning of service. Welcome you to Borscht Ball Club, where borscht is as warm as the waitresses. Thank you for not handing out flyers during the cross-examination. Both players played with hats on. It's already April. How could it be cold? At Borscht Ball Club we have pride on authentic rustic Russian restaurant theme. Outside it is city in spring, but inside it is always as cold as Mother Russia. No way am I going there. When it comes to hot borscht, cold is best seasoning, da? The victim, he plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. His locket? I believe it was good luck charm, da? Da? He gripped it many times as he played that night. Yes, he must have felt as though it might carry him to the moon and the stars. Though if it was small enough to fit around his neck, it wouldn't have much lift. The defense would like a clarification. This is a locket we're talking about. I mean, a pendant with a picture in it, right? Not a rocket. Of course, I knew that. It was probably a pendant shaped like a rocket. That's why she called it that. No, a locket's a locket. It doesn't matter what shape it is. It's considered bad form to poke fun at the hard of hearing in our society. Hard of hearing or hard of understanding? So, what happened next? Well, then last hand is done, but something terrible has happened, Something terrible? My god! The defense will refrain from needless shouting. Sorry. I need to seriously reconsider this vocal training thing. Now, Miss Orley, can you tell us what happened? Oh, I was so frightened. I trembled with fear. Oh. That man flew at the victim and is strangling him to death. No, he didn't. You lie. There we go. Death caused by a single blow to the forehead. Whoosh! Yeah, bitch. I really want to open my Pepsi. but it's considered unprofessional, and I'm an attorney, you see. Oh really? Strangled, you say? That's odd. Normal customers only choke on borscht. No, I mean, this report shows that the victim died of a blow to the head. Ah! Oh! Miss Orley? Really now? Did you witness the crime? I want music, so then it kind of like... Whoa! That was skillful. That did not block out the sound at all, did it? Let's do it whenever there's more music. Looking at the picture, it doesn't seem like he was hit. Oh, there we go. I just coughed. Don't know why. Could've just left it. Alright, now I have a drink. Good. Doesn't help that it's really fucking hot. He's still wearing his hat and everything. Yeah, it is a fact that he was hit, Your Honor. Oh. Wait, so they killed him and then put the photo on? Here's a photo we took of the victim with his hat off during our investigation. Well, that's quite shocking, isn't it? This head certainly was hit. Crime photo 2. But I have seen it happen. The defendant, he lunged at victim. His neck. Oh really, Miss Orley, I think I caught you in your own lie this time. Justice? I admire your enthusiasm, but perhaps you should think this through once more. What do you mean? I found a contradiction. There's one thing in her testimony that troubles me. Very well. It seems we should continue the cross-examination. There's such a thing as thinking too much. This horse is dead. Let's stop beating it. There's such a thing as thinking aloud too much, too. That... So that night... Oh, right, yeah. Both players... The victim. He plays whole time with his hand on locket at his neck. Wait. He doesn't have a locket. Is she getting them mixed up? No, she can't, because Phoenix isn't dead. He doesn't have a locket. What? You know, there was one curious part in her testimony, just like Mr. Gavin said. But what does it mean? Mr. Justice, would you care to explain what it is you're thinking so intensely about? Recall the testimony, Your Honor. The victim played with his hand on locket at his neck, I believe she said. I hope you aren't about to raise an objection to the witness's grammar. No, but look at this photograph. Do you see a locket on the victim's neck? Well done, Justice. I'm impressed. I knew you'd be able to handle this. But what does it mean? If we are to believe this witness's testimony as is, then the locket disappeared following the victim's death. Lockets don't just disappear, Your Honor. It's quite simple when you think about it. If the locket is gone, someone must have taken it. Or taken it off, no? Taken it off? Wait, you don't mean... The defendant wasn't strangling the victim at all. He was taking off his locket. Wouldn't that explain it? Ah, wait a minute, I'm very confused. Why is Christoph doing this to kind of frame our client? Unless he's just trying to get it straight, I suppose. Just seems very odd. Like, he's our client, we shouldn't be, like, putting the blame on him. Defendant, what do you have to say to this? Say. Yes? I just noticed this, but... You have something hanging around your neck, don't you? Oh? You mean this? Yes, it's a locket. With a photograph inside. A photo of my daughter. Wait, he has a daughter? Come again? Mr. Wright, you have a daughter? We confirmed it at the time of the arrest. The picture in the locket is indeed Mr. Wright's daughter. So, Mr. Wright has a locket, too? Why don't I buy that? Oh, why don't I buy that this is just a coincidence? Something ain't right here. Well now, if the results of this poker game led to the murder, perhaps we should hear a bit more about the outcome of the game. Further testimony won't really be necessary. It's clear the defendant lost, Badly. Miss Ollie? You will testify to the court about the game played between the victim and the defendant. Duh. Alright, another testimony. Serious competition. The game began with 3,500 point-in chips for each man. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. The one who was winning, it was victim. For last hand, defendant playing with all chips on table and lose. The moment loss was decided, defendant grabs bottle from table and... Okay. Indeed, looking at this picture, it does seem to be a one-sided game. As the court knows, poker was the defendant's life. Failure must have been a bitter pill to swallow. Ah. How many times have I heard these words? I done it in a fit of anger, Your Honour, and now I regret what I done. A common tale, but true. Methinks the judge watches too many old court movies. Mr. Wright said he hasn't lost in 7 years, so this testimony must be wrong. Boom boom boom. Boom, boom, boom. So the game began with 3,000 points. Okay. Hold it. Are those the usual starting points? Were any special rules used? No, not special. Usual game. Usual rules. If each man began with 3,500 points, then the total would be... 7,000? Exactly 6. No, 7,000 points. Please, this isn't calculus. It's not even long division. House chips come in two sizes, small and large. Are the chips in this photo all the chips that we used? Duh. Of course. Something's fishy with these chips. Should I press harder? Sure. Maybe you could explain a bit about these chips. Explain? What is there to be explained? Oh god. Poker chips are poker chips. They're not fish and chips, not a chip off the old block, not a motorcycle cop, and thanks. Now that I've pressed I'd better ask something. What are these chips worth? Are they in dollars or rubles even? Yet. As I've been saying before, it was a game, not gambling. Hard perhaps for capitalists to understand. Two types of chip, 100 points chip and 1000 points chip. It is not money, duh. Justice, sir. Don't you find her comment interesting? In more ways than one, sir. I'd have it added to her testimony myself. Well, does the defense want the witness to add to her testimony? Yep. Yes, I do think this deserves further scrutiny. Add it to the testimony. I wish I knew where I was going with this. Very well, witness. Or witness, if you would be so kind. Your Honour. So, one kind of chip is worth 100 points. The other is worth 1,000. Two kind in all. Okay. So we have the chip photo. I would have assumed it'd be the point total. Oh! Wait a minute. I assumed the bigger chip would have been the bigger number. But... no, that wouldn't... I don't think that would work out, would it? One's 100, one's 1,000. So, if the small ones are 1,000, that's 4,100 points on Phoenix's side. On his side, he only has... he only has 3,000. Unless the colour of the chip doesn't matter. That's all I can think. Would that be 7,000 points? You've got 6 reds, so assume that they're 1,000 each. That's 6,000. Hang on. Yeah, that'd be 6,000, and then the black ones is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. That would be 7,000. Okay. But I mean, that makes it... That actually adds up to 1,000, 7,000, if you count the red chips as being the 1,000 point chips. But if my logic at first was correct, and the black chips are worth 1,000, and the red chips are worth 100, then that means that's like... That'd be 10,600, would it not? Yeah. So, I think I might just base it off of that. I mean, it depends which way you count it, really. If you count it with the reds being 1,000, that does add up to 7,000, but if you count it the other way, it doesn't. Sure, go for that. They don't add up. You're sure it was the victim who won? Absolutely sure? It seems our new attorney is a bit confused. A glance at the picture is enough to tell you who won. If you're not in kindergarten. Just for safety's sake, could you explain the problem to the court? Of course, Your Honor. In this photo I see small chips and I see large chips. Tell me, which were worth 1,000 points? Why, the big ones, of course. Duh. Oh, I thought so too. But then the totals don't add up. There we go. The totals... Let's review what the witness told us, and yeah, if the reds are worth 1,000, then Phoenix is actually winning. By a long shot. Yeah, because Smith had 2,900, Phoenix had 4,100. Let's review what the witness told us. Each man started with 3,500 points in chips, and the combined total value of the chips was 7,000 points. Yes, if my calculations are correct, let's see, 3 plus 1, carry the 5... they are, Your Honor, now... Look at this photo that allegedly shows all the chips. If the big chips are worth 1,000 points, and the small chips are worth 100 points, and you add them up, how much is it? Do it yourself. You aren't in kindergarten. Are you? 10,600 points. The chips don't add up. This clearly contradicts the witness's testimony. Because Phoenix was actually winning. But why? How could this be? Exactly, Justice. Now that you know the what, you must determine the why. Right. There's only one possible way to explain this contradiction. Wait, chip count was wrong, starting points were wrong, both were right. I mean, they wouldn't deal us in with 5,300 points, would they? Chip count was wrong, starting points were wrong. Oh no, they were right, it's just that they assumed wrong, I suppose. Yeah. Each man began the game with 3,500 points. If all the chips are indeed shown in the photograph, then there can only be one answer. Well, what is it? The value of the chips was the other way around. What? Want to know what I think? The small chips were worth 1,000 points, not the big ones. Madness. Utter madness. Show me that photograph of the chips again. There are 6 small chips and 10 large chips. Why, that does make 7,000 points when you add them up. Which means that Phoenix was winning. Excellent work, Justice. It's almost as though you figured it out by yourself. Well, I'm just glad I was the one who said it. Oh, Christ. But wait. The value of the chips may be different, but that changes nothing. Indeed, the victim did have the larger number of chips still. Ah! Exactly. If the small chips were 1,000 points and the large chips were 100, or are 100, let's do a little math. Add up the points for each side of the table. The victim, Mr. Smith, had 2,900 points, and the defendant had 4,100 points. Well now. It seems that Mr. Wright was winning that night after all. That's impossible. My client had even less reason to kill the victim. After all, he was winning. I'm wondering what's going to happen to Payne's hair in this one. Is he going to lose it? He'll just go bald. Now, Miss Ollie, you must have known the true value of the chips, since you were there at the scene of the crime, weren't you? Oh, proper skill. Order, order. It appears that our defendant has lost his motive, and Mr. Wright's supposed defeat never happened. No! We must now ask ourselves whether we can trust the witness's testimony at all. Who was that? Oh. Excuse me? What is it, Miss Ollie? I did not want to be saying this, but... Actually, you see, See what, Miss Ollie? What do we see? In the last hand, there was cheat. My goodness! A cheat? You don't mean... a trick? Wait, or do you mean... a scam? They're all the same thing. Yes, there was cheat in last hand. That is why game ends with chips as they are. Great. Just great. First we have lying, now cheating. Well, this case certainly has taken a turn. For the interesting. Witness, you will please testify to the court. Tell us about this cheating in the final hand. Do it. Witness testimony. Woo! Right, I keep losing track of where my mouse is. The last hand... whoops. Both men had full house. There is 4 of each card in deck, from ace to king. If you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. The next moment, game becomes argument. The defendant's trick was exposed. He took bottle in his hand, poor Mr. Smith. Okay. Miss Ollie, why did you not tell the court about this from the very beginning? I thought I smelled a cover up here. Well folks, it's time to throw back the covers. A full house is a very high-scoring hand. Not easy to make in my experience. That alone is enough to suspect less than scrupulous tactics. Mr. Gavin? What's a full house? It's... a net pair and a three of a kind. Lawyers these days. You don't know your poker? I can't say this bodes well for your case. Or career. What is this? Some kind of secret court poker ring? Justice. You know the terms 1 pair, 2 pair, and 3 of a kind, yes? Yeah, no problem. 2 cards with the same number makes a pair, and 3 makes a 3 of a kind. Good. Now picture a hand with 1 pair and 1 3 of a kind. That's a full house. That doesn't sound very easy to make, does it? You can see each player's hand in this photo. Oh wow. Wow, they both have full houses. We forget. There's an easy way to make a full house. And go undefeated for 7 years. You cheat. The defense may cross-examine the witness. Okay. If he did cheat in the last hand, that still leaves one important question. Mr. Wright lost that hand. Who's ever heard of a professional conman losing when they cheat? The final hand. So the last hand, both men had full house. I don't know why I'm reading it again. Just how hard is it to make a full house, anyway? It is quite hard. It is making a pair and a 3 of a kind at the same time. I guess that's right. Very difficult to be sure. You can take my word as the poker head of courtroom 3. Very difficult, but is not impossible. Okay, full house, hard. This line of questioning, a waste of time. Hey, I like to get all my dialogue. Let me press. There we go. Took a while. 4 of each card, you say? Duh. There is 1 spade, 1 diamond, 1 heart, and 1 club for each card. It is interesting fact that this number 4 comes from number of seasons. Huh. You don't say. And did you know that cards are numbered 1 to 13? Add all the cards in a deck and you get 364. A year. Huh. You don't say. Isn't that 1 day short? That's why each deck has 2 jokers. They say the second joker stands for the leap year. Thus you have a perfect representation of the year. All in a deck of cards. Huh. You don't say. We're going to be in this courtroom for a year if it keeps going like this. So if you look at both men's hands, cheat is more obvious. I don't want to present anything, I must just want to look. How is it obvious? Oh god, I must present it. Whew. I don't see anything that makes it obvious. No. Okay. Okay, press. How is it obvious? Tell me! How is it clear? Duh. Well, the defendant, he played a 5th ace. What? A 5th ace? I still remember both hands very well. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces. Wait, no it didn't. Whoa, 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 you're talking a bunch of shit. You did not. No, 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 no. He had 3 kings and 2 aces. So, you're chatting a load of bollocks, Missy. And Mr. Wright's too. Obviously, cheating was afoot. Or perhaps I should say, a hand. Your Honour, perhaps this can be added to the testimony, without Mr. Payne's joke. Very well. The witness will add this detail to her testimony, please. So Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces and Mr. Wright's 2 is 5 aces in total. You lie! Wait. Oh. Sheesh. It appears the witness is mistaken. Mistaken? But my name... Look, this piece of evidence clearly contradicts what you said in your testimony. That's the photo of the chips, is it not? Justice? Perhaps you ought to explain your point in a way that the judge can comprehend. In other words, use your finger to point out your point. Yes, please point out the contradiction in this photo. Please make it obvious. What particular point contradicts the witness's testimony? I'll go with this king. Take that! Miss Orley, in your testimony you made the following claim. Mr. Smith's hand had 3 aces, but as you can clearly see, the victim's hand only held 2 aces. Well, maybe the witness was simply confused. Perhaps it was the defendant's hand that held the 3rd ace in question. Take another look at the evidence. As you can see, the defendant also had 2 aces in his hand. Where's this 5th ace? I see cheating alright, and it's going on right here in this courtroom. Oh! Nice one-liner. Justice. 2 aces in each player's hand does make 4 aces total. Hardly proof of cheating. Wait, please. It is true, I have seen it. The 5th ace. There was cheating, I swear to you. That's odd. She must be lying, yet she is the most sincere I've seen her all day. You're right to trust your instincts, Mr. Gavin. Who knows what lies in store for us in the trial ahead? Your Honour, if I may, I have a suggestion. What might that be, Mr. Gavin? If you don't mind, perhaps we might examine the actual cards. The cards? Mr. Payne? Yes. The players' hands that night were set aside as evidence, were they not? The defence would like to request that the cards be shown to the court. Very well. The prosecution will submit this evidence. Which will you examine? The victim's cards or the defendant's cards? If these cards don't prove cheating was going on, nothing will. Now, which of these hands is more suspicious? The victim's, because that's one she pointed out as having the 3rd ace. It was the victim's hand that changed over the course of the witness's testimony. The defence requests time to examine Mr. Smith's cards. Very well. Mr. Payne, if you would. Very well. so we got the victim's hand. Cool. Well, time's a wasting. Get to it, Justice. Yes, sir. Oh. Okay, it's teaching me this now. When examining evidence, be sure to view it from all sides and angles. Try using the dials on the evidence viewer. That should give you a better perspective on the case. Okay, let's do this. Well, this is easy. Whoop! Oh, would you look at that? There's a blue card, which means it was switched. What? What? Oh, there we go. Wouldn't let me proceed. Your Honor, look at this. One of the victim's cards. The back is a different colour. Huh? That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Oh. What was that, Miss Orley? No, yet. I merely said, da, I have eek. Your Honor? Mr. Gavin, yes? Tell me, what is the easiest way to cheat at poker? To cheat? I'll tell you. One merely needs a friend, a comrade, shall we say. The dealer. Wait, so you mean... this witness, Miss Orley? She's the cheater. A professional, I'd wager. Oh. Order, order! Oops, I keep clicking out the window. It's because I keep losing track of where my bloody mouse cursor is. Focus, Justice. Time to take advantage of her. Of her mistake. Your Honor, please recall the testimony we just heard. That's impossible. But I put that card in Wright's hand. Uh-oh! Scario. Alright, Edgeworth. Jesus. Ergo! Miss Olga Orley conspired to cheat, not with my client, but with the victim, Mr. Shadi Smith. What the hell is this? Oh wow, it's completely different. This is cool. Oh my god, this is awesome. I think another thing I really like about the HD versions is the music's better because it's of higher quality. It's the same songs, it's just at a higher bitrate, and it sounds a lot better.